Tuesday, friends.
How's it going, y'all?
Tuesday with
Is it
Android.
Tuesday, guys? Because it already feels like hump day to me. I'm just saying.
Today has been, today has not felt like a Tuesday to me. It's felt like a Thursday.
Is a
That's
Thursday
right,
a bad
honey.
day or a good day?
No, I don't know. It's not, I'm not putting any. I'm not
Thursday,
putting
you're
any,
drained.
I'm not putting any emotional weight on Thursday. I'm just saying it just feels like a Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be 60 degrees on Thursday, though. That's better than today's 38 degrees. So
Dang. We've just been pummeled with warmness.
Yeah, my
went
kids have been going to school in shorts.
Yeah,
jeez.
I was wearing shorts today. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I went to Tahoe
saying it's right.
over the weekend. Yeah, exactly. There's nothing we can do about it. We went to Tahoe over the weekend, and my sister and my nephew were in town, and this was like his graduation trip that he chose. Was I want to go to, visit us and go skiing. And so we're like, okay, and so we schedule it, and then there's just this massive heat wave. And like the day before we get there, it's like record-breaking heat up in Tahoe. So, I mean, the snow was just all slushy and not great, but still had fun. But, it was less than ideal.
Yeah,
wouldn't be
less
surprised.
than ideal, but my friend went up this weekend, and I saw her on the Instagram, and they were just in t-shirts skiing, which is like really fun.
Yeah,
So,
it was
like
a
the
different
ability
type
to
of
do
skiing.
that is very California. I was just like,
Totally.
oh yeah, we can ski with
Yeah, I
t-shirts
mean,
on.
I was
It's all
just wearing a
good.
sweatshirt. Yeah, I didn't have to wear like a coat or anything. It was just like a sweatshirt.
The
But it
rare
sucked because
time.
so I ended up only boarding one of the 2 days. The kids, they went up both days, but that first day at the very last run, it's always the last run, I tell you what. I'm going down, and I don't know exactly what happened, but it ended up bringing me, to my knees, and because it was slush, it didn't like stop with the snow or cushion or anything. My knee just like went through the snow
That's the
down
only
to the
problem.
ground. And
Yeah.
went boom, right onto the ground. And so my knee has been super sore the last couple of days because basically I just, I don't know how fast I was going, but I just plowed into the ground with my knee. So that
And
was
you
a
had
little
nothing
painful.
to like fall. Yeah, it's not ideal conditions.
Yeah. It's like it cut through like butter. It's like my knee hit what would have been the
Yeah.
snow, and it would have been poof, but instead
Butter
it
has
just
been
went
sitting out on
Like
the countertop.
butter.
like
butter.
butter, just split right through it. But it was still fun. It was still enjoyable.
Of course it
I
was.
wish I hadn't hurt myself, but it was still enjoyable.
Oh well, that's not.
I was in Texas this past weekend for the Texas Pinball Festival, and I saw several people who enjoyed the show, and somebody who's a big pinball person and was like trying to figure out where he knew me from, and then realized it was from tech podcasts. And so I saw Stacy DeVino, right?
I was going to say, DeVino.
Oh man,
yeah.
I forgot. Oh, I'm so glad I brought this up. I got to save it for the show though. But the photos I sent you guys, which Flo, I know you saw, but Jason, did you see or no?
Which photos? Where'd you send them?
The to the WhatsApp, the thing I saw in the wild.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Yes.
not going to spoil it.
I'll do it at the beginning of the show. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil
I'll pull it
it.
up.
It's good.
No. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yep.
Okay.
I will do it. That'll be good. That'll be good for the top of the show. That'll be fun. So it's been a while since we did it in the wild. So
I love it. I like it a lot. Cool.
all right, that's a good tease
Okay.
for you live streamers.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss out.
Don't want to miss out.
How many tabs do y'all have open right now?
Me?
Oh, I close tabs
One.
before we do this show because
Yeah, me too.
I'm running on one stick of RAM.
Oh, okay. I'm on my big machine, so it doesn't seem to matter, but I've got a lot open, so I'm closing them right now.
All right,
Closing them.
I've got the images primed and ready.
Nice. No, I can close that. God, half of them are AI. Half the tabs are AI services. This is my life now. Crazy. What do you want to do? Do you want to jump in? Jump into the deep end?
Yeah, we can do it. Let's do it. Are you good with doing the intro and everything, Jason? I figured since you were out, you were due.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So
cool. I could do that. Okay. I'm just getting a few last things dialed in. That was a CNET mobile phone podcast.
Oh, jeez.
Called Dialed In. With, I think, Bonnie Cha and Kent German. Yeah. There you
Dang. That's a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Totally. Or there was the original Android show. What was it? Android Atlas Weekly.
I don't even remember that one. Jeez.
No, that was before All About Android. That was when I was at CNET.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first Android podcast with Justin Eckhouse. Yep. That's where I started in Android news. Android Atlas Weekly. Anyways. Okay. Well, everyone, why don't we do a show then? Let me make sure. No, that's the wrong banner folder. Yes. Turn off loopage. Don't want that. And close the video clips. Okay, y'all good?
Yep.
I'm gonna quickly hang on. Would you give me 2 seconds to add something to the doc?
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, before we start.
Can do.
Hang on.
Can do.
There you go.
That's the can do attitude.
I'm going to add.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, ba-dam, bam, 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 bam.
I put a friend of the show link for the news story, for the first news story, Jason. If you see there.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And then.
Boo, boo, boo.
There you go. Okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, great. All right, let's roll with it, baby.
Let's roll with it. Rolling with the homies.
You want to roll with it?
Okay, let's see here. Let me push this button and then this button. And it's just me. Moo ha ha ha. I'm going to take over your show. Just kidding. I'm just going to intro it. Stand by. Here we go. In 3, 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Android Faithful, your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps. Although it could be apps, it could just be software. Sometimes it's all sorts of things in that third block for the world of Android. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Howell, joined as always by...
I'm Ron Richards.
And
I'm Florence Ion. Hello.
Hello to both of you.
How we doing, my friends?
How are we doing? How are we doing?
Living the green life.
I am feeling the lull right now. It feels like a lull. Like I'm,
That's not a bad thing.
We're waiting for the next thing to really hit. Springtime is going to come. It's going to sprout up some new things.
I mean, springtime has sprung. We are officially springtime.
In some parts of the continental United States, sure. I don't want to speak for everybody. So.
Well, I'm just saying, technically speaking, it is spring. Whether it looks like spring, that's a whole other.
That's true, because we did have the spring equinox. You're correct.
Yes.
You're right.
Equinox, I believe it's pronounced. Equinox. It sure doesn't feel like spring here in New York. It sure doesn't feel like spring here in New York, where it's currently 38 degrees, but it's going to be 60 on Thursday. So I don't know how anything works anymore. But my kid starts soccer on Sunday, and I'm going to have to put him in snow pants. But yeah, it's It's
Clearly
fine.
I need to move out to California where I'm wearing shorts. I'm literally wearing shorts.
I used to live there, Jason, for a reason, and then I came back for another reason, and now I'm regretting that. I don't regret that decision. I just miss the sun.
Yes, the weather. You wish you could follow the weather and bring it with you.
Exactly. But Jason, you're back. We missed you last week. We traded a Jason for a win, and now we traded a win for a Jason. But it's good to have
Pokemon.
The three. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you evolved.
You have a team.
Exactly.
Ron is learning a lot about this currently from his son. Is you have a team and you cycle through the Pokemon depending on the team's strengths and weaknesses, and
exactly
got to balance it out.
And speaking of team, it's a good reminder for those of you listening to the podcast that we do live stream this show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/dailytechnewsshow and at twitch.tv/dailytechnewsshow, where members of the team in the live stream audience include longtime friend of the show, Burke, who's there currently in the chat on Twitch, and Willie and all the regulars, Cousin Ajah and Pack NY, and I don't know if Clinton's there or not, but we got some regulars. It's always fun to have in the live stream. But if you listen to the show regular on the podcast, you can download it, listen to it whenever you like. And we thank all of our supporting patrons over at patreon.com/AndroidFaithful who help support the show. And you can sign up there. You can get an ad-free version of the podcast, which is a great little thing. And you also get, if you sign up at $10 or higher, you can get the After Hours show bonus content that comes out immediately after the show publishes. But
Boko,
also,
as no one calls it.
Yes, exactly.
We can call it Boko, though.
But also, thanks to the support of our supporting patrons, we also get to do cool stuff like bonus episodes, including we dropped a surprise bonus episode this last Friday. Win and I sat down with another friend of the show, Matthew McCullough from Google, the VP of Product and Android Developer Experience, and he joined us to talk about the new Android Bench and LLM rankings and all the cool tools that Google has put out for developers to help navigate using AI tools in their development. If you are a developer and want to know a little more of what went into the Android Bench, and/or if you're curious as to how Gemini ended up on top of Google's own rankings, because I asked the question. We asked the tough questions here on Android
that everybody was wondering.
I did. I accused them of tipping the scale in Google's favor, and Matthew answered the question with grace and integrity, which we've come to expect from Matthew, because he is one of the good ones, and gave a really good answer. I'm not going to tell you what that answer is. You need to listen to the podcast to hear it, but it was a good answer. It was a fun interview. It's a half an hour, really, really good conversation about what's going on inside of Google on the Android developer side of things. So please check that out. We hope you enjoy it. And we're going to try to bring more kind of like bonus interview episodes for you that you can look forward to. And that's all because folks are supporting the podcast. And that's what we want to bring to you. So
thank you, folks, who support in the many ways that you do.
Yeah. And then also, before we get started, we haven't done this in a while, but I had an in the wild experience.
Yes, you did.
Do tell.
Oh my gosh. So I was in Texas this past weekend. I was at the Texas Pinball Festival. In fact, Jason, I threw a link in the doc of a little Instagram video that showed me what I was doing at Texas for our video viewers. I was there for Scorbit, my company, my pinball startup app. We were there at the Texas Pinball Festival in our little booth, and we were running a tournament using the Scorbit app. We were kind of live beta testing our new feature that we were doing. It was really cool. You can walk up to a pinball machine, you can play the game, you can win real money. It's really kind of cool. So I had a great time. Spent the whole weekend, ate barbecue, all that awesome stuff. What was awesome is that I had people coming up and using the Scorbit app with the pinball machine, and so I saw lots of phones, lots of people using the apps, and sure enough, a dude walks up and he's like, "Oh, how does this work?" I'm like, "Oh, you just download the app." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And he pulls out a phone, and I nearly lost I can't say it on the show, but I lost my crackers.
Your marbles.
He pulls out this phone. And I don't know if you could tell. And so video viewers, he's holding a phone and it's small. I'm going to describe it. Small. It's a smaller phone. And the guy said he liked the small form factor. And it was a rugged phone, and it's got kind of harsh edges on the top, almost like octagon shaped on the top part. And then he flipped it over, and I saw the logo, and it is a Ulefone.
Ulefone, or is it Ulefone?
Ulefone, or whatever it is. In the wild. This has the bright LED thing, the bright LED lights on the back, and the FLIR camera, right, Flo? We talked about that last week, or the FLIR camera. But yes. This guy was a proud Ulefone user, and let me take pictures of him, of his phone, because I was like, dude, I've never seen one of these in the wild. And sure enough, he was a proud owner of a rugged Ulefone. The small, I don't know what model it was. It was an older one because it's a very small display. It had to have been like 4 inches or something like that. It was not very big, but he loved it. So yeah.
Orbit works on it. So
yeah, my app worked on it, which is awesome. It had NFC. It did everything I needed it to do. So the dude was rugged. He had a beard. He was a man's man. So
he was a rugged dude with a rugged phone.
He fit the profile, but and he played a good pinball machine. So
was that his own, like his first Ulefone, or is this just like?
I mean, we didn't. I was so blown away by the fact that it was Ulefone. Yeah. We didn't get deep into it. Like I could have. I should have interviewed him, but
yeah, a 5-minute interview for the show would have been great.
Yeah, he said he was very happy with it. He was he really liked that it was rugged and that it had the LED light and that it was just he was into it. So
it has the FLIR camera for some reason.
Yeah,
someone uses those things for something.
Yeah, you got to know the heat of something before you touch it, especially in these unprecedented times of random weather. You never know if something is too cold or too hot.
Yeah, it's so true. So
See?
True.
So,
am I going to touch that piece of toast? Did it just come out of the toaster, or has it been out of the toaster for 10 minutes? I don't know. I'm going to get my phone. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what it's there for you. It's there for you.
So in the wild, I finally saw a rugged Ulefone. I couldn't believe it. It blew me away. So
amazing.
Yeah. So.
Amazing. Yep. No, that doesn't work. There's probably a better word to smash that up with, but
it was fun to be in Texas. I go every year. I flew into Dallas, got barbecue. It was good. They have In-N-Out. I got In-N-Out. I was very happy.
Yeah, I saw.
So it was fun. All right, shall we get into the news?
Yep.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, so big news. As I was in Texas, I was flipping through Threads, and I saw a friend of the show, former Android Faithful co-host, current Google employee, Michal Rahman, post some groundbreaking news that the national nightmare related to sideloading seems to have come to an end. Michal posted on Threads that he said, important update on sideloading on Android. It's of course here to stay. The team's been listening carefully to feedback from power users who want a way, apart from ADB, to install apps that don't go through developer verification. And then they posted on the Android developers blog a way to balance openness and choice with safety. And then it kind of blew up all over the internet, all over the blogs and all of stuff like that. In fact, Michal posted a follow-up that explained it, and then a whole bunch of sites picked it up, including 9to5 Google and things like that. Essentially, there's a one-time process that once you go through it, you can choose to allow installing unregistered apps indefinitely. ADB installs are not affected. The waiting period doesn't apply to apps that install via ADB. And then basically you don't have to keep developer options enabled after you enable that advanced flow. And then as other people dug into it, essentially sideloading the apps without verification includes a 1-day waiting period that allows you to, that requires you that you need to go through to allow you to take the risk of installing that.
It's like a cool off period. It's like, are you sure? You're gonna have to wait a little bit and see how you feel tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's interesting. Android Authority posted a great kind of explainer of, they said 7 things all Android users need to know about these sideloading rules. That they basically said that you still need to enable developer mode if you want to do it. And then there are a few steps to follow after that you do that. They go through those stuff. They pull that directly from the developer's blog. Android Authority feels as if the 24-hour rule is annoying but manageable. And then the restrictions apply only to unverified apps, which makes sense. Smaller apps aren't impacted either. And then the big thing here is that these rules start this August. So it's not like they start tomorrow. It's going to take a while for these to take effect, presumably with Android 17, or as they plug along with the new new versions of Android. They don't say exactly when in August, but my assumption is that as they roll through the versions of Android 17 and get closer, it's going to be tied related to that. And then additionally, they don't know what Android versions will be included. Will it just be Android 17? Will Android 16 or earlier versions be also be protected? Unknown. My personal guess is that this is going to be Android 17 and further, because it seems like the August timing seems to line up with the release of the new version of Android, and so it seems like this is going to be a new version thing. But they do go backwards in these features sometimes, so we'll see. Did you guys expect this sort of response from Google to the whole side-loading drama debate?
I certainly didn't expect a 24-hour cool-off period, but I don't hate it. I mean, I don't love it and I don't hate it. Because we've been with Android for as long as we have, and it's been based around this idea that you own your device, you make the choices, blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of people that don't understand these elements, the whole side loading, unknown sources, blah, blah, blah. There are, like it or not, a lot of people using Android, and a reasonable percentage of those people that truly don't understand what it means to click that, and to potentially, I'm not saying it's likely, but potentially make their device less secure. So adding in a method like a 24-hour cool off, I guess, is effective at getting their attention and making them realize, okay, hey, are you sure you want to do this? At the same time, it's annoying. It's annoying for people who do know what they're doing to wait the 24 hours. I guess the good side of this is if you really, you get a new device, you flick that on, you got to wait your 24 hours. And then at that point, you are able to then just say, don't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Always let me install Sideload. So yeah, it's a little annoying, but I think it's probably going to be effective for the people that Google says it's trying to protect. Is Google doing it altruistically? Is there a different motive out of it? No. That I don't know, but yeah, I sort of understand it.
Yeah, it is not altruistic. It is the easiest path forward without getting in trouble for anything to do with antitrust, while also keeping itself legally unliable should anything happen to anyone because of this new mechanism.
Yeah.
This was like it's basically, here's a gate, come into this gate. You can come in and play here in this gate, but the door is only open for either 7 days or indefinitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I can really understand though why people are upset with this, because it does again give, continually in the last couple of years. What's that?
If you're on deadline, if you're an app developer who's on a tight deadline, or let's say maybe this will just make it more cumbersome to unlock a bunch of phones at once to try and, test them to do something of the sort. I'm very curious how this is going to possibly, how it's going to crash. I'm curious how this is going to crash.
Crash and burn.
What's going to crash it? Is it going to be, somebody trying to do mass development or what? That's what I'm sort of curious about.
Well, we'll have to wait until August to find out where the holes are, what the problems will be, and that sort of thing. And that's, but it is interesting that they that there was the whole storm and the who are the people of F-Droid. There was that reaction last fall and early winter, and a lot of Sturm and Drang and discussion about what it meant to be Android and what this does to that community. To play devil's advocate, it sounds like they're trying to listen and they're trying to thread the needle on achieving whatever the issue is that made them deal with this in the first place, while also hearing the concerns of that community and try to find a solution. Right. Mm-hmm. So on that side, I do find it commendable. Whether or not, is it possible to find the perfect solution? Some will argue the perfect solution was not to do anything and just let you sideload apps. Right. But clearly Google has the position that, that opens up danger to users. And so we need to take some sort of action. And this is their proposal. Right. And so whether, Flo, to your point, we'll see if it blows up in their face or if, the dust can settle and everybody can find peace, time will tell. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe everything will just be fine. And then we'll have nothing incendiary to say.
Yeah. So. Unlikely. Someone will have something incendiary to say. So.
If you wait the 24 hours and then you choose, I could see, like there are times on my phone where I activate developer options the unknown sources to do something, and then I leave it open. Usually unintentionally leave it open. And then I check back on it. I'm like, I might have a reason to leave it open for a while, but then want to close it and then open it again later. And if I do that, will I then have to wait the 24 hours again? Because if so, that would be annoying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, can I just get it out of the way and I paid my dues? Now I can do whatever I want back and forth.
You get it out of the way. If you do it indefinitely, you never have to deal with that again. But if you do it for 7 days, then you do have to deal with it again.
So if I do it, but I guess what I'm saying is if I do it indefinitely and then I decide to reactivate, you know what I mean? To go back and close it up. And then I want to open it up again. I'm going to have to wait another 24
Yes, you're going to have
hours.
to wait another 7 days.
Yeah, that's annoying. But I get it.
It's a security door. Like it's exactly acting like that. And
and 24 hours isn't the end of the world, I suppose. Like it is annoying, but it's kind of like, I guess it could be worse. I guess they could have set it out
just
a week.
Unlock it the minute you get
ridiculous.
the phone. Like if you really want it, unlock it the minute you get the phone. I feel like that.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah, that's what Frank and
it's like the same thing as going in and tapping 7 times and doing the developer options anyway.
Yeah.
It is like I kind of wrote about this in the newsletter last week. It is a bit of a regressive policy because it goes away from where we started in this whole industry, but it's been almost 20 years now of Android, and so things do have to change with the changing tides.
Do they? Can't we just stay on Hollow?
They could have closed it off completely. They could have gone completely Apple, they could have done that whole thing. And I know we like to complain about Google's closing, the garden, whatever, too, but it's still a lot more available.
It's still a lot more open than the alternative, but there is kind of a narrowing happening there, and that's certainly not making people happy. At the same time, is it happening enough that people are then, those same people are going to then choose to go to iOS where it's even more, you know what I mean?
No,
probably not.
It's just going to make really good complaint fodder on the forums, which is good because we want engagement. This is the era of engagement.
Yeah. Look,
we do the ROI.
Yeah, I think we need to respect what Burke is saying right here, because I think Burke speaks for many people when he says, "I want a loose garden."
Android is best when it's a loose garden.
Just everybody running through the garden, trampling on flowers. Like, don't worry about anything.
Yep. You get weeds in a loose garden. That's what you get in a loose garden.
Yeah, you do. Careful. And they hurt when you step on them barefoot.
Yeah. I mean, that's sadly a good segue to the next story, actually.
It is. Yeah, speaking of, the team at GrapheneOS is like a de-Googled version of Android. And, a lot of people like it. I can't say that I've used GrapheneOS as my daily driver ever, but I'm curious about it. But they are saying that they will not add any age check gates or any sort of identity checks with its Android fork. They say, quote, if GrapheneOS devices can't be sold in a region due to their regulations, so be it. They said this on X.
So be it.
So be it.
I'm sorry. It's just...
Yes, I appreciated that. I was like, so be it. That's so say we all. Of course, people who love GrapheneOS are very happy to hear these words because it means that GrapheneOS is doubling down on kind of the personalization qualities of modern smartphones and how they're so, Google's Android phones are so wrapped up in all of these account hooks to your personality and your information, all this stuff. GrapheneOS is kind of a response in reverse to that. But California passed legislation that goes into effect January 1st of next year. That legislation requires users to enter their age to use an operating system. And that's why this is kind of a big deal. Colorado also has similar legislation. Going worldwide, you've got Brazil. They're going one step further, requiring full age verification systems, not just self-reported age, which, as we know, if you're self-reporting an age, it's pretty easy to say, oh, I'm 18 and be done with it. So, yeah, GrapheneOS kind of doubling down, committing to this, understanding that they might lose some people in the process as a result. But they said also, quote, if an authoritarian government wants to block access to GrapheneOS services, they can figure out how to do it. We don't filter the internet for Iran or North Korea, so why would we for Brazil or California? There you go. They're like, no, we won't.
This is hard. This is a tough. This is like pulling a thread on a sweater in terms of a topic. The whole idea of age verification laws and all this sort of stuff. Because on one hand, it's it's protecting minors, but on the other hand, where does it cross the line between filtering and authoritarianism and tracking people and all that sort of stuff? And I literally just went through all that. I've gone through this and I'm going through it all with Scorbit because we are we're handling money and using not gambling, but it's a gambling adjacent with game of skill, and there are age laws, and we've got to do age verification. But it's not self-attestation. It's got to be age. We've got to verify the age and verify ID, and there are all these systems, and do it in a way not to piss off the user and have them drop off, and do it. So it's like it is a huge ball of wax, and it is very complicated, and it is very frustrating because those systems aren't great, to be honest with you.
And they're certainly not perfect, and they open up a whole can of worms on the other side too.
Yep.
If you believe that the intention is to protect children, which is, a lot of people would say, oh, that's the wedge that they're claiming, but it's actually, as someone in our chat, I think it was actually Clinton. Hello, Clinton. He says it's not about protecting children, it's about control of adults, and that's a whole other political can of worms.
It's a whole other. That's why I'm saying it's pulling a thread on a sweater, and I don't know.
But it's a part of the reason that GrapheneOS even exists. It is a direct reaction, direct response to kind of the so much of how we use our smartphones and our computers, and how much information that we pass along just in that experience. And GrapheneOS is an effort that is born out of the idea that you should be able to use a smartphone and still be very private, in the process, and not be handing over all of your personal information. So I respect that they are holding so strong to this.
Yep.
They're certainly holding strong to their brand.
Here's a vial of my blood. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let us do this.
I don't want your blood flow.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Phew.
And also, in case anybody is curious, I don't have very widely used blood, so I wouldn't be good in case of emergency. Just so you guys know.
There we go.
Don't file that.
Don't come after
that
my
in
blood.
back pocket for someday.
I just
My word.
have a very specific niche blood type.
Interesting.
Speaking of niche blood types, actually, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about some great news. Some great news about being an Android user, which is that we are holding on to our phones a lot longer than iPhone people are. Yay!
Yes, neener,
Good
neener.
for us. Yeah. And you know why we're doing this? It's because Samsung and Google have both started this years-long contract with us to agree 7 years of security and software updates. So why would you need to jump through some hoops to upgrade your phone if you don't quite need to? Okay, but for real, like, this news comes from so this actually comes from Assurant. Now, Assurant, for those of you who know the name, that is the company that sells you insurance on your phone for when you buy it, like from a carrier or another third party. So they are using some of the data that they've gotten from their customer base, and they found that between Android and iOS,
so probably not coming from GrapheneOS, is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. The credit and cash customers received. So, excuse me. Let me start that over. So basically, a lot of people are trading in their phones, which is great. The values have gone up. And trade-ins have hit a record 6.4 billion payout, which means a lot more people are going in for, the shiny new thing when they have maybe a good deal that they can take advantage of. But while iPhone users are trading in like every year or two because, they want the fancy new thing, that's, I guess they want Apple Intelligence. Android users, specifically, this was what was very interesting, specifically Galaxy S26 Ultra owners. They waited nearly 4 years and then cashed in on like the really big boosted trade-in credits. And remember, when we were looking at the Galaxy S26 Ultra before it was fully released, Samsung had said those were the people that it was targeting with this update. So, that's not bad. Like 4 years for a flagship smartphone. I feel like
I think that's pretty darn good.
Like maybe more of us should be doing that. I will share that Andy Anatko, who is my podcasting partner over on the Relay Network, he is still on a Pixel 6 Pro, and he's still like, Andy's knocking out these gorgeous photos. Like he's just really good at using the software, which I think speaks to, this is great. Like it speaks to longevity of these devices and the fact that Google has done a lot of work behind the scenes.
Pixel 6 Pro. October 28th, 2021. So 5 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
It is. It is. I was there when you bought the phone.
Updates.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting any updates still.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we talk about it a lot. These phones are getting more like the promises, the update promises are longer. And I think coupled with that is just the fact that the hardware that is inside is, it's just more powerful, higher memory, higher RAM capacity in a lot of these devices. So of course they're going to last longer than, 10 or 15 years ago. The idea of holding onto a phone for 4 or 5 years was kind of ridiculous. They were so underpowered, and that's just not the case now. Even the mid-range devices are pretty powerful, and they're going to last.
And I think this dovetails with Jason. When you were out last week, we were talking about the idea of, given the RAM shortage and everything going on, wouldn't it be great if the companies, not that they're going to, but wouldn't it be great if we stopped seeing yearly releases? Right? Like if if we went back to, not if we ever went back to, I don't know if we ever were at this point, but if we had like 18-month release cycles or 2-year release cycles, right? Because the phones can last longer, right? And we know that, I know this is fiction because the companies aren't going to do this, right? But because the phones can last longer, why the need to pump out new models? And, obviously they want to sell phones and they have shareholders and all this sort of stuff, but, train or not so much train, but influence the users to support the idea of holding onto your phone for a longer time period.
Yeah.
So
at the same time, like just because phones last longer doesn't mean that someone didn't get their phone 4 years ago and is ready to upgrade. You know what I mean? And so not having a phone coming out on a regular basis would still force them to kind of go with a less up-to-date phone if that were the case.
Yep.
But yeah, interesting thought. So, okay. Well, there you go. Good news on the update front, I suppose.
Yep.
I suppose. And actually, it's really interesting that story comes right before the patron pick, which I'll set up. I'm not going to spoil it quite yet. But I want to say thank you to our patrons. Patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. Those of you who support us on Patreon, you enable us to do this each and every week, each and every month. And we just really, really appreciate you. And so we give each of you the opportunity to vote on the story that we will talk about in this slot each and every week. We put up 3 stories, and you vote for your favorite. We talk about the one that wins. We talk about the other 2 in After Hours, which is another patron exclusive, which we'll talk about in a moment. But before all of this, we allow everyone, empower everyone to use the beautiful Gemini AI image generator, or whichever one you choose to use, to recreate scenes of The Big Lebowski. And that is the case with this bug droid image by Trav, who sent in, it's a bug droid with a little cocktail and the half and half, and yes, it makes me realize I need to watch that movie again.
Well, it's interesting because Trav from Cartridge and Quest podcast sent it in because apparently they watched they on that podcast they realized they're like a 90s retro podcast. They realized they'd never seen it, so they watched it, which is funny because Big Lebowski, cult classic, everybody loves it. Not the best Coen Brothers movie. There, I said it. So maybe Jason, instead of watching Big Lebowski again, try watching Inside Llewyn Davis, which is actually the best Coen Brothers movie. So
I've never seen that one.
And do a bug droid version of Inside Llewyn Davis there, my friends.
Okay.
So.
Or you know what?
Ron's
you don't have to choose. You can watch all of them.
Jeez. I'm like.
So.
Well, I love The Big Lebowski, so there.
You can like it. I'm saying.
So does Trav. Thank you for sending this in, Trav. I love it, and what is the drink again? Why am I blanking?
White Russian.
It's the White Russian.
White Russian.
Realizing I haven't had a White Russian in a very long time.
My favorite thing about the Big Lebowski is it launched a generation of people who thought it was cool to go to dive bars and order White Russians. And my double favorite thing of that was being a regular at a dive bar in San Francisco and watching the bartender grimace and then smell the milk from the fridge underneath the bar, and then grimace while making it, and then hand it to the person. They walk away, and then come back to me, and then go, "Oh man, don't order a White Russian at a dive bar ever."
It was me that night. It was me that night at the Phoenix, right? And Ron was there, and I wasn't even 21 yet, and I got a White Russian. I already know, Ron. You're just describing me.
The night and the bar in question was actually in San Francisco, and it was very funny because that's when I learned.
Yeah, so was the Phoenix.
No,
Phoenix is in San Francisco.
No, I know, but the bar. I'm talking about the bar. I'm talking about Molotov's in the Lower Haight, where the night.
Oh
I was
yes,
there.
I know all of yes.
Do not order anything with milk at a dive bar. So.
That's a good tip. I've probably done exactly that before, but yeah, no, that's a really good tip. Anyways, thank you, Trav, for inspiring this conversation about spoiled milk. But we did put up a few stories, and this is kind of a themed patron pick time period because there are 3. I think they're all leaks. They're all rumors, and so we're like, oh, you can vote for the rumor you actually want us to talk about, or the leak that you actually want us to talk about. You did not want us to talk about the OnePlus Watch 4, surprisingly, because the OnePlus Watch 3 has been so well received. If you're looking for the OnePlus Watch 4, this leak says it just passed a crucial hurdle. That came in at 13% of the vote. You did not want us to talk about Samsung thinking about a major S Pen change for the S27 Ultra, at 15%. But you did want us to talk about a new leak that reveals how budget phones could change in the wake of RAM crisis. This is an article on Android Authority, and leaker Digital Chat Station on Weibo is claiming that manufacturers are getting ready a number of changes for their budget fleet in the near future as a result of RAM price hikes, as we've talked about many times. And this was, of course, translated from Weibo. machine translated, I should mention, the article points out. But it says to expect more 8 gig variants instead of the 12 gigs of RAM models that we're starting to see more of in the mid-range, dropping back down to 8 gigs. Plastic frames instead of metal. Whatever, that's fine. Cheaper optical fingerprint sensors. So kind of going back to the optical technology there. 90 hertz displays instead of the 120 hertz you might be getting used to. Water drop notches in the displays instead of the punch hole.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Water drop notches. Yeah, that takes it too far. This is going too far right now.
I know. Do you remember those? Those are like old. Water drops are like, that's like 10 years ago, I feel like. But maybe not.
It is 10 years ago. This is not okay. We can't stand for this. We need to do something about this.
Do you remember though when that was cutting edge? When it was like, oh my goodness, you get so much more display. That's so crazy. The upside of all this is that you might actually see a return of more SIM and SD card slots. So,
there you go.
We talked about micro SD cards. There you go. Might be coming back to the mid-range devices.
Maybe, as long as they can keep, because if they're gonna market them as water resistant, it might be hard to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they might not market them as water resistant.
Yeah, it's just like, don't drop it in water.
Yeah, just
because we can't afford to give you more storage.
Blame the RAM shortages, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you, bub.
Well, we've had several people write in saying that the SD card could be an option, and so curious, right? So.
Yeah. So if you believe Digital Chat Station on Weibo, then that's what you can look forward to. Who knows, like when we're going to start? Is this year? Is this next year? Who the heck knows? But that's where we're at.
All right.
So
cool.
Thank you, patrons, for submitting your picks for what we should talk about. Love that so many of you vote on these in the Patreon, but also want to throw a big shout out to Douglas King, one of our amazing patrons, randomly picked from our long list of supporters. Thank you for supporting us and making this show possible.
And audio listeners, you can go to patreon.com/AndroidFaithful and see the image of the Big Lebowski bug droid. But you got to watch the video tonight to see the image that I just made of Llewyn Davis as a bug droid while we were talking about this. So,
oh wow, the cat looks really good.
The prompt was very in Gemini. I just said make Llewyn Davis as a bug droid from the movie Inside Llewyn Davis, and it really nailed it. The Gaslight Cafe behind it, and the snow, and the car, like it nailed it. So
how did I not ever hear of
this movie's right up your alley. It's really good, Jason. Very good. So.
It's Louis and David.
Llewyn
Davis.
Llewyn Davis, yeah. So.
Llewyn Davis, 2013.
I love it.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess I have to watch that. Okay.
All right, cool. Patreon.com/AndroidFaithful. Support the show. So
support the show and hang tight because we're going to take a break. And on the other side of the break, we've got a ton of hardware to talk about. So don't go anywhere. Did you go anywhere? I hope you're back because we're going to start talking about hardware like we promised. Starting with you.
We are going to start talking about hardware. I just want to throw a little note out there, let you all know that I finally finished Galaxy S26 Ultra 3-part review. Yes. Last week we put up the Galaxy S26 Ultras, kind of went through the AI features and which of them are actually useful and which of them are not. So go check that out at androidfaithful.com. And then today I finally published the camera shootout with the Pixel 10 Pro. And surprise, surprise, I still like the Pixel 10 Pro most for photography.
Oh, okay.
But, that horizontal lock, forget what it's called.
Yeah.
It's not
Horizon
the most,
lock.
it doesn't really roll off the tongue.
But
yeah, the horizontal lock is absolutely great. And I think I'm going to be sticking to that for my social media videos going forward. Because...
Yeah, it's pretty useful. I will. And here's a little video representation. I was literally
just waving the. I mean, it should work, but I was waving the camera around.
Your phone was going around in circles right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even know it. That's the beauty of Horizon Lock.
It's amazing.
Kind of crazy.
So,
I will also say I don't know. I haven't read through this to know your take on the telephoto, but I found the telephoto to be kind of chunky. Like it's like,
so
okay.
Let me tell you the thing really quick about that, actually. Let's talk about that real quick. So the second zoom lens, that's the new one. That's the one that got bumped up to 50 megapixels. It's got a weird sort of focus view. The numbers are all escaping me right now, and I do apologize. But basically, when you hop into 5X on the Galaxy S26 Ultra, that is taking you directly to that telephoto camera sensor, because the 50 megapixels is the one that does the 5X optical zoom in. The problem with that, though, is it's stuck at a certain fixed field of sort of fixed distance. So if you try to move in too much with it, you cannot take a macro shot. So then you have to revert out to 3X, which is the the first telephoto, the original 10 megapixel one. And that's the one that you do the macro shots with. So it's because they set each camera sensor to do their very specific things. The primary one, like, lightens everything with the very wide aperture. The first telephoto, that's for the macro. The second telephoto, that's for kind of like zooming in and getting like a good crop. And then, of course, the ultra wide camera, which also serves as a helper for horizontal lock. Yes.
Okay.
It's a very complicated system. And did you know also that there's a 24 megapixel shooting mode that is not on by default? You have to go download it from the Galaxy store yourself and enable it.
That's a tip. That's a tip right there.
So
interesting. Well, there you go. Go to the site. Check out Flo's detailed
all at Android
Ultra camera review.
AndroidFaithful.com. You can read it all there. Thank you, Flo. The long Galaxy Ultra review process has come to an end. So all in all, at the end of the day, would you recommend someone buy it? The phone?
If you're upgrading, absolutely. If you're upgrading from the 22 or the 23, it's a huge upgrade in aperture. It's a huge upgrade in glass. It's a huge upgrade for the model itself.
I need a new phone. I'm not telling you what phone I had previously. I just need a new phone. Should I get this phone?
No, I would tell you to get a Pixel 10.
Okay, there you go. There it is.
We also know you well enough, Ron, to know.
No. I mean, I'm
probably would
rhetorical me. I'm Joe on the street. I just walked up to you at the Phoenix and I said, "Hey, Flo, I hear you're into phones. What phone should I get?"
It's just.
I would probably say the Pixel. The Pixel.
Yeah.
Also consider this. You know what I mean?
It's more user friendly.
Yeah. I would actually say go into a store and take a look at both of them and see which one really catches you, because they do kind of approach Android through different lenses.
Yeah, they do.
No pun intended.
Cool.
So.
I recently had a friend reach out to me, said he needed a new phone, and what would I recommend? I said, well, what's your budget? And he's like, well, why? I'm like, well, because if you're, you don't want to spend a lot of money, I'd recommend the Pixel 10a. I go, but if you've got some scratch, I'd do the Pixel 10 Pro, the Pixel 10 Pro. And he wrote, come on, who do you think I am? And that's all I heard. And I don't know what direction he went in. So
I told you nothing.
Yeah, I was like, all right, okay, cool. I hope he went in the 10 Pro, but I don't want to assume. But that was
right.
No, I think.
You could have offered him a foldable. You could have been like, "Do you want something?
I think
a little more different."
There's a movie coming out that he wrote. I think he's going to be fine. So I think he went the 10 Pro. But I was just being nice. So anyway, all right. Next up, hey guys, do you know it's been over a decade since the Amazon Fire Phone came out?
Yeah, Amazon learned its lesson. It'll never do that again.
Totally.
That was such a crazy time.
No, it's that they learned their lesson and just enough time
Why
has
is
passed.
time cyclical? Why?
Time is a flat circle, and there's just enough time because guess what? Amazon has got plans they're working on a smartphone. Word from inside the company, from anonymous folks, that they are developing a new smartphone, internally project codenamed Transformer, It's being developed inside their devices and services unit. They talked to 4 people inside the company familiar with the matter. This is written on the star.com.my, which, sure, that's a legitimate site. But anyway, this spread like wildfire, this kind of report. And the previous, the Fire Phone back in 2014, you all remember, was a smartphone that was actually initially the project was overseen by Jeff Bezos. And this project also is continuing Bezos's dream, his vision of a ubiquitous, voice-driven device assistant similar to the communicator in Star Trek. Which, hey, I'm right there with you, Bezos. I want the communicator too. I want to go computer, just like Scotty. But basically the vision is that, having a smartphone that's powered by Alexa, that's tied into Amazon shopping and discounts and everything you get with a Prime membership. Honestly, if I was Joe MBA, that's a compelling product offering. Like, Amazon is a behemoth in that space. If they could, in the same way that the Alexa line has done well in the home, there are people who have these Alexas in their houses, are using it to do shopping, or using it to access services and all that sort of stuff. If they can extend that experience to a phone, it makes sense. And I'm not surprised to hear that Amazon is exploring it. That said, the folks related to the matter say that the timeline is unclear, and they cautioned it could be scrapped if their internal strategy shifts or because of financial concerns. So take it with a grain of salt. But of course, a key focus of the project has been, get your drinks ready, integrating artificial intelligence capabilities, and with the desire to eliminate traditional app stores. But of course, looking at the success of the Rabbit and Humane and all these wonderful AI first devices, I'm sure Amazon can figure that out. But not to cause too much of a grown pun, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yes.
And there's a lot of indicators saying that there could be opportunity here for Amazon if they could get into they've got millions and millions of users who pay for Prime, and they recently taken a similar approach with the TVs, with the home, in the home, with their new operating system, for TV devices. They've got the Alexa devices. Why wouldn't they go after the smartphone device space? So yeah. We'll see if this ever comes to fruition. Why not do an Alexa phone? That would sell, whether I like it or not. I think it would. My mother-in-law loves her Alexa. She would get an Alexa phone, I bet you.
But does your mother-in-law, does she have an iPhone, or does she have an Android?
She has the iPhone, but for no other reason than that's what she's just had. Like, it's not like she likes it,
Right. Yeah.
So it's just what was given, what was imparted on her.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think the AI, love it or hate it, I think the AI in this story is actually a big reason why Amazon has been litigating more around not letting services like Perplexity use its agents to shop on Amazon sites, and part of the reason is because Amazon wants to control that whole experience.
They
having
want
a
that
smartphone.
Market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want
you
their
want to shop
agents.
at Amazon and Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Use this phone.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised. It is interesting, though. This is the era of Marquez Brownlee when the Fire Phone first happened, just FYI.
I was wondering, I was like,
is
that him now? He looks really young. And like, no, he doesn't look like he's...
This is when he was still kind of in his bedroom at home, I think.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He didn't have a studio and everything like that. But yeah, that's the phone. Remember that's right. And it had the 4 different cameras. So that depending on how you looked at it, it would 3D-ify the...
It had the lenticular, it had that kind of weird 3D
It had
effect.
the perspective shift.
Yeah,
it wasn't a true 3D experience, but it would shift the graphics the graphics on the screen to give the holder the view or the feeling that it's in 3 dimensions, if I remember correctly. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, interesting. I wonder if they bring that back. This will only succeed with those 4 cameras.
Yeah. So keep an eye out. We'll see if this ever comes to the light of day. But I would be shocked if they weren't doing this work. That would just be irresponsible. So,
speaking of things seeing the light of day, Flo.
Yes, that's right. We're talking about Android Auto. Wait.
Nope,
Yes,
nope, we're not.
No, we're not. I jumped ahead. Good job, Flo. We're talking about OnePlus. Pardon me. I jumped ahead too quickly. So there's been a lot of talk about what's going on with OnePlus currently. It's hard to kind of tell what is really happening and what is not. So it all started with a tipster claiming that OnePlus was shutting down in key global markets, including the US, UK, India, and the EU, which is like all the markets. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that about Africa. I apologize. But yes, and Latin America. Now I'm thinking about it too much and talking about it too much. The day after the tipster said it, OnePlus confirmed its India CEO, Robin Liu, had resigned.
Ooh.
And that was the CEO that had sort of like promised that this was not what was going on in an earlier.
Love it. Love it.
So everybody's just kind of like confused. What is going on? And then OnePlus, let's see. So much has been going on. Then there were reports indicating that large parts of the European phone market will start to see some changes as soon as this April, which everybody's thinking is alluding to OnePlus's role there. And then the brand's operations in China, like nothing is going on there. There's no red flags about the manufacturing pipeline. So it's kind of hard to tie this back to that this is something that's absolutely happening. There's a lot of just middle of the road guesses as to what's going on, even with all the official outreach from OnePlus themselves. And I mean, OnePlus has not actually confirmed any sort of global exit. Regional teams have actually tried to, put out the word that they are operating normally and they are going to continue providing software updates and what people need for their OnePlus devices. And then I just want to add to this is that today, just this afternoon, I was reading some news about, OnePlus is apparently like working on a gaming Android phone that's going to come with like a controller or whatever. So the word on OnePlus right now is very muddled.
It's
very extremely muddled.
I mean, there's a lot of different sources going to a lot of different tipsters and leakers and everything, pointing it towards a similar
and from different regions, because we have
from different
OnePlus
regions.
India, and then we have OnePlus North America, and then we've got, but then the stuff is going on in China, so it's like
starts to feel once again like where there's smoke, is there fire?
I was just going to say that exactly. Right. Yeah. It seems like how many of these reports are going to come out. I mean, it's either a coordinated attempt to try to tear down OnePlus or something's going on,
there's
right?
Something to it.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting. This all clashes together with just like the global politics of it all.
Yeah.
Because it's very interesting. We were very balanced for a while, and now it just feels like everything is unbalanced.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want OnePlus to not be sold in the U.S. I like it. I like the brand. I'd be sad.
But it has been on the decline, right? I mean, it really has been. Ever since
it folded into Oppo, yeah.
I feel like I was gonna say ever since they canceled the second, ever since the Fold came out, and they didn't do another Fold, I feel like it's just been like slowly retracting. It's like a wave pulling away from the shore, Yeah. Just it has felt like that. So.
Yeah, it would just be a bummer. That would be a huge loss to any a further loss to choice in the U.S. I mean, and I'm clearly focusing on the U.S. market because that's where I live. But it's already pretty vacant here as far as choice in Android is concerned compared to a lot of other markets. And
well, that's how they like it here, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I guess so. I don't like it.
No, I know, which is why we should maybe talk about, having a little more overseas representation because it's, our bubble is bursting. It's bursted.
Our bubble's bursting. That's true. Well, Nubia has a phone that we could talk about. I don't know if it's actually going to be sold here in the U.S., to be honest. Although the article that I have here does name a U.S. price, $599, also €599.
You could probably buy it on Amazon. It might be on Amazon.
Yeah, you could buy. I think a lot of these things you can buy that way, but it's that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like a U.S. phone. People who are really in the know.
Oh, Red Magic is on Amazon, by the way.
Okay,
fascinating.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So
Red Magic 11 Air Trace Edition is what I'm talking about. This is a gaming phone that they've announced, a single variant that will have 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage with a Snapdragon 8 Elite. It has a dedicated Red Core R4 chip for the graphics, for offloading the graphics, for the input processing. So if you're playing those AAA games on your smartphone, you can do really long sessions and it won't bat an eye. 6.85-inch AMOLED display, 144 hertz, so high refresh. 50 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization and a few others. A 7,000 milliamp hour battery inside. 80 watt wired charging, so pretty fast wired charging speeds. And yeah, it has this kind of this unique design aesthetic. Sort of kind of has nothing vibes to it.
Yeah.
Probably because of this big circular thing that kind of,
2000s anime Ghost in the Shell,
Oh.
Yeah.
It's got an Android, like an anime Android look.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. But $599 or €599. You can find it through the Red Magic online store. Sounds like you'll probably be able to get it through Amazon.
You can, but it's almost $1,000 on Amazon. So whoever's selling it is
it's a third-party seller. Yeah, going back to the design of it, I wonder, is this the influence of nothing, or is this just a coincidence?
Well,
I think it's just.
I
it's
had
just what they're
reviewed.
manufacturing.
Yeah. What was it? The Nubia. God, I don't have it down here. I think it's upstairs. But a different Nubia phone I had brought onto the show. I don't know how many months ago. And it had a very similar kind of case design too. Not quite like this. This looks very nothing. It kind of has that like ribbon quality to it from some of the older nothing phones. But that one also had a unique kind of case design with these really flashy kind of reflective components inside underneath the glass. And so I think Nubia, they do this on their gaming lineup of phones. But this looks very nothing. No doubt about it. That's immediately what I thought of when I looked at this. I do think that there's some influence there.
Interesting.
Well, I was going to say, if somebody's manufacturing it somewhere, it's not that hard to share those materials and those aesthetics and kind of tweak them. I suppose
so.
Give me phones that look different, though. I like it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. It does look nice. So that is the
working on it,
Nubia.
Ron. I only have so much manufacturing prowess on my own.
Yeah, just get it together. Seriously. All right, let's take a break, and then on the other side of the break, we'll talk about some apps. We'll talk about some software stuff. That's coming up here in a moment. Okay. So let's see here. So we've got this would be the sort of thing that Mishal, when he was still on the show, would tell us all about.
Jason, he left the show. You need to get over it, man.
I'm just saying, he would have been the one to bring this.
No, I know, but he's not here anymore. It's been months now. You got to move on. He's not.
Mishal?
He's not coming back.
Mishal?
He's not coming. He's in Mountain View. He's not coming back.
Where am I right now?
He is in Mountain View. If you want, start driving now.
Jason, we said we wouldn't do this on the show, Jason. You said you'd be strong.
No, I can't do it. I can't do it. Surely we can pay him more than Google, Ron.
No, not in the budget. Not in the budget.
Okay, well.
Sorry about the deep guttural laugh, but guys, podcasting, it ain't what it used to be, guys. I'm just saying, okay?
Let me tell you. The March Android Canary update is here. It's official for those of you who are all about flashing the Canary update to check it out. And it has some cool features to know about. So we can run through these real quick. Separate Wi-Fi and mobile data tiles in quick settings. So, okay, separate. What's old is new again, right? That used to be the way it was, and then they combined them, and now they're
honestly. I appreciate this because often I'm trying to turn off Wi-Fi when my Wi-Fi is like dead at home, and I, trying to figure out what's going on. So that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. You have to long press on the Wi-Fi to go into it and then do this stuff. So now you wouldn't have to do that. Nice to have the option, anyways. App lock. So locking a specific app, you can protect it with a PIN or password or your fingerprint. You can hide their notifications, their widgets, shortcuts, all of it if you tie it to a single app that you lock. App bubbles, again, what is old is new again. What is so different about the app bubbles this time? I don't get it. Like, it's like, hey, we got app bubbles. This was like 10 years ago. Is it just a new version of app bubbles that's a lot more?
Are they just adding more app bubbles now so it like goes beyond conversations?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, by long pressing an app on the home screen, you can bubble an app. See, again, I thought that we already could. Maybe it went away, maybe it was there and it went away and now it's coming back again. But anyways, you can move that bubble anywhere on the screen.
Time is a flat circle.
Okay. That's also an option for our title, apparently, because it keeps coming up. More blur. So if you really want to get blurry with your background and kind of transparent, you can do that.
Gotta get blurry.
Gotta get blurry. A long press menu redesign that kind of condenses things, keeps things a little bit more succinct and not quite so listy. A screen recording redesign. So this allows you to do some things immediately, like re-record. You get an immediate preview. You can edit, delete, share, all of that kind of integrated into the little pop-up. And then redesign permission UI, which is really nothing more than going from a circle to a squircle for these things. But hey, it's a change.
That's interesting. It's interesting how
squaring the squircle.
Squircle.
I'm not sure that I actually like them going to the square, honestly. Like the circle.
It seems like less. The circle seemed almost better aesthetically.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
This uses more space, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty minor, but anyways, that's Canary. Caw-caw. Caw-caw.
Is that a canary? That's not a canary. That's a.
I don't know. What does a canary sound like?
Yeah, it's more.
It's Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird's the canary.
Tweety Bird.
You guys remember Looney Tunes? Apparently, you're not around anymore.
If Mishal was here, he'd know what a canary sounds like. Okay, fine.
Michelle's not here, Jason.
Fine.
It's
fine. Me. Whatever. Next story.
That's me. Listen, I apologize again for jumping the gun on this one, but Google's really doing something here. They're trying to do for the car what they did for the smartphone, which is to basically streamline everybody under its open source software. So, yes, what's the news this week? Well, the big news is that Google has announced Android Automotive OS for software-defined vehicles. That's right, everybody. Android Automotive OS for software-defined vehicles is coming soon. So now, the official...
Sorry, I was trying to match your energy.
It's officially called AAOS SDV, which I'm never going to remember, and I don't think I'm ever going to get down, but that's okay. The thing about this, though, is that it is so deeply integrated into the car, it goes beyond the dashboard. So, yes, right now you've got Android Auto in the dashboard in front of you. You've got Gemini there. If you have Android Automotive in the car, it's still kind of this like dash situation, even if you have HVAC controls. But this is actually going to integrate even deeper into the car. So beyond maps, beyond asking, to shuffle music, by making this open source, Google is trying to provide this foundation for car makers. And the foundation can reach in to all sorts of parts of the vehicle. So not just to tell you, is there gas in the car? But also, it will tell you about any non-emergency maintenance that needs to be done on the car.
Okay,
This is kind of the idea that they have for it, like what it's going to work like when it's finally implemented. It's also going to help with faster updates because, of course, currently, if you want to update what's going on in your car, I mean, if you have Android Auto and CarPlay, that's updated on your phone. But the actual operating system that exists on the dash in your car, especially if you have like a touch screen, that has its own update mechanism. Well, in the olden days, guys, they used to put like DVD players hidden in the car so that they could upgrade the software when you needed it. But no, Google's like, why do any of that stuff? Why go to the dealer when we could just put through an over-the-air update and just update it that way? So, all things that are very exciting. Google's already collaborating with the Renault group, the Renault. The way my Eastern European family pronounces it is very different. But they're already collaborating with the French car group, Renault, and Qualcomm as well to kind of get this tech underway. And we should expect to hear more about it this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
So a little bit deeper integration.
I would like to know, will it be able to tell me whether or not my kid's seatbelt is buckled?
If the car
Subaru
manufacturer
does that already.
ties it in, although that might be that might go into that realm of like
safety. It would make them liable for it.
Okay, and then will it be able to tell my kids to shut up? Because I'm driving.
You could probably get Gemini to do that now.
And I'm just trying to focus.
Gemini
And will it just tell them to stop? Just to stop it, because we're almost home, and just stop.
Are we there yet?
And no, we're not stopping at Dunkin' Donuts. Stop. Anyway, okay. Well,
I'm
moving
not sure
right
I can
along.
do any of those things, Ron. That seems like a very specific use case.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
possible.
be the only one asking for the kids shut up button on Android Auto.
Yeah, my kid thinks is I'm bored. I'm bored in the car, and I'm just like, we literally just pulled out of the driveway, and you're bored already.
That is a phase. We went through the on board phase. All right. Last but not least, we love our Google Messages app, and we love just the slow, steady drip of features. But we are getting 3 pretty decent features here. Pretty good features. So Google Message recently has got a couple new features you want to keep a look at. They now have in group chats, you can @mention people in the group chat, so you can highlight somebody and make it stand out so that you're calling them out when you're talking in a group chat. That's kind of, old Slack-ism kind of thing coming to Google Messages. And also a dedicated trash folder. I haven't deleted a text message in Google Messages in years.
Oh, I have.
Oh, yeah.
People be making me mad.
Maybe I'll start doing that.
Toss them in the trash.
So anyway, now you got mentions and you got trash in Google Messages. And then additionally, you also now have the ability, well, some of you, it's rolling out to share your live location, which is something I would never do with anyone.
Good.
But now if you're in a conversation, like if I was meeting Jason and Flo for dinner and I was running late, I can say I'm on my way and share my live location so they can see how close.
My way here, track my location for the next 20 minutes.
No,
well, then you show it to the host, at the restaurant, and you say, "Look, my friend is coming. Can we please be seated?"
Yeah, or just say he's on his way. But anyway, anyway, so now you can share your live location in Google Messages. So cool. So
I noticed one of these features over the weekend where we had like a group text message thread for our ski and snowboard trip, and I went to put in one of the names of the people in the thread, and it pulled up a little kind of like. Yeah, exactly. It pulled up a little that I don't. So then, what happens though when I put that in there and send it? Are they notified differently than the notification?
Oh yeah, I just did it, and when I did I get a little window that says try to get their attention. They'll see mentions even if their notifications are muted.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
What if they're on iOS?
And then now I did it. Everyone will see this.
Anything.
Everyone will see this name. Edit by deleting words, and so I'm setting it to somebody on iOS. So, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they see on their end. in that regard, but I'm guessing
it suggested it to me in a group chat with 2 iOS people the other day, and I was like, "Come on!"
I just did it to two. I just did it to 2 iOS people, so we'll see what they say. So
read the room, Google.
Oh boy. Anyway, all right. Jeez. Well, those are the app news and your software news for the week. But we get email. Everybody emails us. We love to hear from you. It's fantastic.
We do get email.
It's always great to hear from you. You don't write enough, to be honest, you, the listener. So you should email us at contact@androidfaithful.com. Just like our friend Sergey, who wrote to us this week. And Flo, why don't you tell us what Sergey has to say?
Yes, we have a really great email from Sergey, who has actually been with us since episode 1. So thank you, Sergey, for being here this long. Hi, Android Faithful Gang. Longtime listener since episode 1, first-time emailer. I was listening to your episode from 17th of March, 2026, where you were discussing the updates to Google Maps, and one thing I have always wanted is that when it shows you an alternative route and it says 4 minutes longer, it would also tell you the mileage difference. So, for example, it might say 10 minutes longer or 8 miles shorter, because it is going to take you through the center of a city instead of around it. As an EV driver, sometimes taking a shorter route is beneficial, despite it taking longer, because of the mileage limitations, of course. It would be great if Waze also did this, as that is my driving maps of choice. But I'd change it if it was implemented to Google Maps. Anyway, keep up the great work, and thanks for an awesome podcast. Regards, Sergey Belagamba. I hope I said your last name. Belagamba.
That's a great addition, and I don't know if any product managers for Google Maps listen to the show, but there has to be some way to submit product requests to Google Maps, Sergey. So I would suggest you go do that, because I can't guarantee your idea is going to get to Google through us.
I know. It's always interesting when people email, can you tell Google next time you talk to them that blah, blah, blah? It's like, no, we can't.
No, I mean, I could. I mean, we talk to Google on a regular basis.
It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. They might not, the people we talk to Google might not even know where to get to it. But that is interesting. I mean, it's funny because it's like on Google Maps, time seems to rule all, and often, especially when I'm driving, I will hit the little double arrow Y icon to see other routes, and I can't remember if it shows distance on that as well when you're in Android Auto, not in the app, but in Android Auto, but it tells you, I think it does tell you time and distance in that view, because I'm often trying to figure out what the best way to go. And it gives you the little green leaf for energy efficient route, like whatever saves you the most gas or whatever it might be. Right. But he does have a point that sometimes the fastest way is sometimes the longest way is a longer way, or vice versa, or a shorter way is more mileage. And as for, I also have, in addition to my Subaru, I do have an EV. And you do track that I live and die by that, how many miles left in your range, and you want to know, right, when it's getting low, right? So it is a good idea. So go find the Google Maps product suggestions, and I'm sure you could drop that in there, and they'd love to hear from you. So
maybe those changes will make their way into the Android Automotive OS story that we talked about earlier.
Maybe
the AAOS SDA or whatever.
Yes.
We are hearing from the live stream, our good friend, regular Clinton, shares that Google Maps can already prioritize different routes based on your car type.
That's true. Yes.
That's true. It can.
So, Sergey, you might want to make sure your Google Maps knows that you're an EV driver, and it will prioritize your route based on that. So, thank you, Clinton.
Great tip. Yep. Thank you, Clinton. I forgot about that.
I didn't know about that because I have gas-guzzling cars. I don't have an EV, so I don't know what that life is like.
Yep.
I don't know what that's like, but
I do both. I figure I want the best of both worlds. So anyway,
best and worst of both worlds.
The best and worst of both worlds, right? Fun times. All right, well, email us at contact@androidfaithful.com. It's good to hear from everybody. Send the emails in. Send them all in. Just don't stop.
Send them to us. Keep them coming, and we will populate them at the end of every show. Yep. Thank you for doing that. We have reached the end of this episode, although it's not the end of what we talk about, because if you're a patron, we're going to talk about the stories we didn't discuss in the patron pick. In our after hours for patrons, we're also going to talk about a few other stories, but we'll get to that in a moment. Flo, what do you want to leave people with?
Well, if you want to find out where to find me, you can go to florenceion.com. That's essentially my link tree on the internet. And there you will find a link to my Discord, my other podcast that I do on the Relay Network, and the Android Faithful newsletter. So do tune in, and thank you, everybody, for being here.
Do tune in. And that is florenceion.com. And you, Ron Richards. Ronathan Richards.
It's not Ronathan, but thank you, Jason. You can go. I'm out on social media.
That's your full name, isn't it, Ronathan?
No, it's not.
It's okay. All right.
But yeah, so you can go follow me on social media. I'm usually at RonXO on the various different social media platforms. I'm most active these days over on the Threads, having a great time over there, pissing off iOS users like I did last week. Jason, I posted a whole bunch in Texas about pinball and Scorebit and fun stuff like that. Go to scorebit.io, by the way. We released the new scroll up more. We scroll down. We released the new version of the app right before. Scroll down. There it is, right there. What's new? We released the new version of the Scorebit app last week with some cool new updates and things like that. That was cool. But then scroll down. I talked about Mishal's thing. I timed how long it took me to get through security at the airport. It took me 3 minutes. That got like 20,000 views. That was really cool. But then scroll down. I got into a little scroll up above Kermit. Right there. Tech Threads. I got into a little mini argument with the person at Dunkin' Donuts because I went to pay and she was like, Apple Pay? I go, well, no, actually it's not.
I saw that.
It's Google Pay. And while that only got like 3,000 views, I got like 70 comments and I got a lot of angry Apple users. Sure that was fun. So I like pissing off Apple users sometimes. But yeah.
Oh, you even said the Apple sheep really liked it.
They really came out in droves. They really did. So yeah. No, it was fun.
Debate out there. Dang.
Fun times. So that's what you can see if you follow me on Threads. I didn't mean to antagonize the Apple users. I wasn't trying to. They didn't get the point. That was my point about it. Is that it's not. It's tap to pay. Just call it tap to pay. It shouldn't just be Apple Pay or Google Pay. I'm not saying call it Google Pay. Just tap to pay.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I think it's a fair point.
Thank you.
And they are all wrong, and you were right.
Yes. What about you, Jason? Where can people find you? What are you up to?
I'm doing lots of things, but if you have a podcast, thinking about a podcast, want to talk to someone who knows a lot about podcasts, hey, I'm here for you. Podtuneup.com. Go there. You can book a little call with me. Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk on a video call. How about that? And we'll see what you got and see if there's any way I can help you out. So podtuneup.com. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening each and every week. Like I said, we do have after hours for our patrons. So you can, if you are a patron, you will probably get access to after hours at a certain tier. And we're going to talk about that OnePlus Watch 4 story. We're going to talk about the S27 Ultra and the S Pen change. And then we've got an S26 AirDrop story. Pixel Watch apparently doing something with health stats that wasn't intentional. And Nothing CEO Carl Pei talking about the death of apps and the rise of agents. Got a lot to talk about in After Hours. So if you're a patron, you're going to get that. If not, become a patron, then you'll get it. And I think you'll enjoy it. But that's about it. We do this show every Tuesday evening at 5 p.m. Pacific. We do stream it live on YouTube. So if that's something that you want to join, like so many people in our chat room, you can do that. And then everything that we do can be found on our web page on the World Wide Web. It is called www.androidfaithful.com. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time on Android Faithful. Good night. www:// something else.
So I will say, my friend who I replied in the chat, the iOS user, I said, can you take a screenshot of this chat and send it to me? I said, did your name look any different? And he says, I'll try, but I always have a difficult time sending photos in this thread. And I said, okay, Grandpa. So I don't think he's going to now. So.
Not with that attitude, he's not.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, he didn't look at it and immediately notice something because he probably would have said it if he had, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he responded immediately, but he didn't say, he wasn't like, what was that? Like, he didn't.
Oh, right. Yeah. Why did this notify me? I muted my conversation with you a long time ago, Ron. Yeah. I never want to be notified when you message me.
Yeah.
Why is it notifying me? Yeah.
But why can't he send photos? iOS is weird. So
yeah.
Anyway,
he might also not have RCS enabled if he hasn't updated it either.
No, he does, because I'm gonna chat just with him, and I got the chat, like the little the thing, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. We have 9 titles submitted this evening. Pixel wins the camera shootout. Sorry. Time is a flat circle. That is a theme that continued to come up. Squaring the Squircle. Wanting a loose garden. Google Messages trash folder about time. That's kind of a hodgepodge. Water drop insanity. Alexa, be my phone. Sorry for all of you with devices that I just fired off. Android is better in a loose garden. This data was not brought to you by GrapheneOS. And then I also put in where there's smoke, there's fire, because that came up a couple of times as well.
Yeah, I would say none of these, but I would adapt. I would just say Android's loose garden or something like that.
Android's loose garden.
Yeah.
Android's loose garden.
Unless you want to go with where there's smoke, there's fire, which also could work too.
I just put that in there just because I didn't think to go there to submit it. Android. Ooh,
Clinton.
Androids.
I tried to do an Android AirDrop with an iOS person a couple days ago, and it went nowhere that you know of. It might have ended up on somebody else.
It
went somewhere.
Yeah, right?
Android's loose garden is tightening.
No, just loose garden.
Android's loose garden.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Then there we are.
Well, thank you, everybody. Good times.
Good
Thank
times.
you, everyone.
Happy all. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, for listening, for being with us, for submitting your stories, for chatting, all the things. We appreciate you. We are going to move on to the after hours recording, so hopefully you get it, because that means you're a patron, and we really appreciate that. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Have a good rest of your week.
See y'all soon.
Enjoy
Bye,
spring.
everybody.
Bye.